Good morning, everyone. This is Becky DeGrosso with CounselingWise.com, and I want to welcome you to the webinar today. The webinar today is on SEO. SEO for your private practice, what really works, and how to avoid scammers. Okay, so before I get started, I want to check in and make sure that you all can hear me, that you can see the screen, and that you can hear me. If you can let me know that in the chat, that would be great. Just type in, I can hear you, or yes, or something. That'll be great. And then I can continue. Don't want to be talking here by myself. Let's see. I'm still not seeing any responses. Hopefully this is working. Oh, good. Okay, Kat, thanks. Got it. Perfect. Appreciate the response there. Carol, good. You can hear me. Jason, good to go. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to dive in then. Here we go. So the first thing is, what is SEO? Okay, what is SEO? Well, most of you know, most likely, but some of you might not. So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And what that really means is doing whatever you can to influence the search engines, such as Google and Bing, to show your website for certain searches. Okay, that's what it's all about. And in other words, it's optimizing your chances of being ranked well in the search results. Okay, so that's what SEO is. Now, why should we be talking about this now? Okay, why am I've been working in the SEO world for years. And why am I now giving a webinar about this? Well, one thing is that I probably haven't done it up until now because I basically thought it was way too detailed for many therapists to even want to listen to anything about it, okay? However, what's happening is that every week when I'm talking to therapists who are trying to figure out how to market their practice, they're saying things like, hey, this company promised me page 1 in Google, and this guy told me he'll get me there in just 2 months. It's just a great deal. I'm going to go for it. Or I just signed a contract with an SEO company for 6 months for $600 a month. Okay, things like this. And every time I hear this, I get worried. Why? Because SEO has drastically changed in the last few years. Okay, beginning in 2012, Google made changes to their algorithm. And it is a big change compared to what it used to be. So what used to be popular, and actually what used to work really well, was to build backlinks to your website. Okay, that was really popular, and so it was kind of a popularity test. Google used to rank sites. Whoops, my phone is ringing. Not good. People used to rank websites based on popularity. That's what Google did. So people would build a whole bunch of links to their website, and Google will say, well, this site must be good because there's a lot of links coming to it, and therefore we're going to rank it highly. So that's what used to happen. Now people learned how to, the SEO people learned how to game the system then. So they didn't build, they didn't just encourage people to link to content because they thought it was really good. They just went out and built link networks, and they built a bunch of links to people's sites so that it would appear that the site was popular and Google would rank it, and that's really not, that was manipulating search, okay? So this kind of stuff is now penalized by Google, okay? If you have anyone doing that, and some of it seemed borderline legit, I guess. You would write an article, you would post it out on eZine Articles or some article directory, it would link back to your site. That seemed legitimate, right? But it was really false linking, all right? Not really a sign of popularity or quality at all. It was link manipulation. So this is now penalized by Google, and I get really concerned when I hear people say all these things that, all of these SEO companies that they're going to go with, because most of the promises these guys make, guys and gals, are basically lies. They just are. most of what they're doing will not only not work for you, okay, it'll fail to deliver, but they'll also hurt your website in the process. And that's the bigger problem. It's one thing to spend money and not get the results you want. It's another thing to spend money thinking that you're going to be doing something to help your practice, and then you find out that it really tanked your website because now Google has black marks against you. All right, so we don't want that to happen. If you have already done this, hired somebody and they've been doing bad link building for you, then the cleanup process is long and expensive, and it can really sink people financially. Okay, and I have a number of therapists I'm working with right now who are going through this process because they paid companies to do this for them. So this is not a fun thing. Now, the good news is that with the changes in the algorithm, no one can cheat these days and get away with it. Okay, I mean, I imagine there's still new inventive ways that some of these folks have come up with to get by for a little bit, but it's not going to last. Okay, so basically everyone has to do it right. You have to really do marketing. You have to really create good content. You have to really communicate what it is that you do. And so it's kind of leveled the playing field for everybody. No more is someone going to be able to go, have deeper pockets and hire a slicker company and then end up on top without a good website. So it's a good thing in that this has changed, okay? And there are some people who are still ranking unfairly, I believe. I find them now and then. Time will take care of them. Google will be on to them. Okay, so this is all really good news. This is really good news. If you are legitimately trying to communicate what you do in your practice and learning what you need to learn and doing it regularly, doing it routinely, you're going to be okay, all right? So this is actually really, really good news. Now, the bad news is there's still a bunch of slime balls out there, okay? Pardon my vernacular there. But, they're out there still, and they're still making promises, and, the old adage applies. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So do not go for it. Do not continue to go forward if you have reservations. If you have those reservations, they're probably there for a good reason. Listen to your gut, all right? Avoid these folks at all cost. Now I'm going to tell you a number of things today. In today's presentation, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what the 4 warning signs are, how to know when to run the other way if these folks are approaching you, what to do if you've already been penalized by Google for bad SEO, because I'm finding more and more folks who are in this boat. Okay, so what to do if you've already been penalized. Good SEO, what it is and how to do it. Okay, we're going to talk about that. The results that you can expect and the time frames in which you can expect them for good SEO. And what to do while you're waiting, because it does take a little while, okay? It's not an overnight thing. There's other things that you can do that are overnight visibility. SEO is not one of them. And it's kind of like a retirement account. You need to keep putting stuff into it. Over time, it's going to build up. You're going to be really happy you did, but it's not going to help you, the next day after depositing a little bit. So that's just the way it goes. So this is what we're going to talk about today. I want you to feel free to go ahead and type any questions that come up for you in the chat box as we're going through this. And I'm keeping the chat box private until I actually open it up for Q&A, and then everything will be visible in there. Some people have commented on the amount of chit-chat that goes on as distracting in the chat box, so we're just keeping it private for now. But don't let that keep you from typing in a question if you have it come up while I'm talking about something in the presentation, and that way we'll make sure to get to it at the end. Okay, so 4 warning signs of an SEO scammer. You have experienced this, I'm sure. Okay, they cold call you or they spam your contact form on your website or your email. Okay, you did not solicit them, they solicited you. It's not as if you were out searching online and you found them and you asked them a question. They've come in, out of the blue with a cold call or spamming. They often say they're from Google. Okay, they're just quite creative. They either say they're from Google, or they're associated with Google, or they're partnering with Google, or something like that. Okay, so that is Google actually doesn't call people to help them with their SEO, believe it or not. They have other things to do. So if they say that, that's probably a pretty good sign that they're scamming you or attempting to. They make big promises. Okay, I can get you page 1 in 10 days or 2 months or something like that. Or this one's really good. the top spot in Google has opened up and I can get it for you. Okay? Or the second spot in Google has opened up and I can get it for you. This is what they say. It's just, it's pretty funny actually, but these are the kinds of things that they say. They say that you have problems. Oh, you have bad problems. You have bad rankings. You're not showing up for search terms. You're missing business. The coding on your site is subpar and it's hurting you. They say all of these things, okay? Now, if you actually really look at what they're saying, and sometimes these are in email, so we get to study them, it's all very general. Nothing has anything to do with your website, okay? So, you know, somebody sent me, a private client sent me an email the other day that he got, and the email was all about, you know, you're not appearing in search for terms that could be getting you business, and you have coding errors on your website that are hurting your ability to rank, and your message isn't resonating with your intended audience, and all of these things. And gosh, I'm the author of this great book, trust me. Well, if you look at the message, none of it had anything to do with this guy's site. You know, who doesn't have some coding that's not totally optimized? Who isn't ranking for everything in the world? None of us are ranking for everything we possibly could. You know, whose copy on their website is absolutely perfect and resonates with every possible client when they land there? Nobody. So it was all very general, but it was quite well written and it was quite convincing. You know, it really got his curiosity going. So these are the types of things that they do. Now I'm going to give you a bonus red flag. I said I would give you 4, but I just thought of this one. They often push you to sign a contract. And I've been seeing this more and more recently, it seems. They push you to sign a 6-month contract or something like that. And a lot of what they're doing is just bad for your business. If someone's pushing you to sign a contract, that's probably a good sign that they aren't trustable, okay? All right, so if you are unsure, okay, so let's say you're having one of these conversations with these folks and you're unsure. Well, ask for names of other therapists that they've helped so you can talk to a peer. And I say other therapists because they could say, oh, I helped this plumber. Well, you don't know that this guy's really a plumber, right? But if they give you a name of another therapist that they've helped, you can actually find that person. You could find their website. You could see where they're practicing. You could see if they're listed on Psychology Today or in any other directories. You're going to be able to actually call this person and talk to them peer-to-peer and know whether or not it's legit, okay? Whether or not this person has had a good experience with this company. The other thing you might want to do is have a trusted expert look at what these people are doing for their SEO work. Okay, this is the big thing because, as I said, it's one thing for them to make promises and maybe for those promises not to pan out. It's a whole other thing for them to be doing something that's going to hurt your website in the long run, okay, and hurt your practice. So have someone that you trust look at what it is that they're doing for their SEO work and make sure that it's nothing that's going to have a negative consequence for you. Look for reviews and complaints online. You know, go ahead and type in their name, you know, Whizbang SEO Company reviews, Whizbang SEO Company complaints. This is standard stuff, but you should do it. And call their listed phone number on their website. Are they really who they say they are? I recently talked to someone who, you know, just paid an SEO company a whole bunch of money, and they started to do stuff, and she started to question whether or not, because she wasn't hearing from them, she started to question whether or not they were legit, and sure enough, she went to call phone numbers and they'd been disconnected. The website was like really a different company. It was a mess. So it's just awful that people are being taken. So be a defensive buyer in this arena. That's what I would recommend. Now, have you already been penalized? So one way to tell is if you look at your Google Analytics or Stat Counter or whatever you're using to track your traffic, and I hope you are using something to track your traffic and your visits, and you see that your traffic has just fallen off like this, taken the big dive off the cliff, then that's a sign that you've been penalized, okay? And note that this is actually fairly recent, and it's Expedia, okay? So this is a huge multi-million-dollar company. It's not just, you know, the little guys who are subject to this kind of stuff. So Expedia was probably just getting too greedy and you know, buying links, and it bit them in the end. Okay, I'm sure some heads rolled on that one internally. Another way to tell whether or not you have a problem is to look in your Google Webmaster Tools account. Okay, so if you do not have a Webmaster Tools account, all you need to do is sign in with Gmail, go to google.com Webmaster Tools, and link, basically tell them I want to link my site to my Webmaster Tools account. Even retroactively, if they have penalized you, a message usually will show up in your Webmaster Tools account, even if you didn't have it established at the time. All right, and this message is typically going to say something like this: the site may not perform as well in Google results because it appears to be in violation of Google's Webmaster guidelines. And then they will tell you what the penalty is. And unnatural links to your site. Google has detected a pattern of unnatural, artificial, deceptive, or manipulative links pointing to pages on this site. Okay? And so this is a sure sign that a manual penalty has occurred. Now, what I also want to tell you, however, is that Google has perfected their algorithm beyond just a person looking and manually penalizing you. The Penguin algorithm now detects spammy links as well, and it's built into the algorithm to actually dock you or prevent you from ranking for certain terms. So just because you log into your Webmaster Tools account and you do not have a message in there does not mean that you haven't been penalized. You may well have been penalized. I'm working with several therapists right now, group practices actually, who don't have messages in there, and they've been penalized still by the Penguin algorithm, and they're trying to clean that up. So if you have been penalized, you have two choices, okay? And I'm really torn about what I would recommend for most people. The first choice is, and not necessarily in this order, but this is one of them: get a new URL, a new domain name, www. whatever, and move your site to that and trash your old site. Okay, it sounds very drastic, but it is often the easiest, fastest way to just get past the penalty and move on with your life and start building again. Okay, this is kind of the divorce option, if you will. Okay, now the other option is to clean up your bad backlinks. So this would be the couples therapy option, I suppose. Clean up your bad backlinks. Now, like couples therapy, this is a very time-consuming thing. So the most complete, well-written process for removing a penalty that I have found is this this post on this site, worldofsearch.io/SEO/how to remove a manual penalty. Okay, and it not only talks about a manual penalty, but also the Penguin algorithmic penalty and what to do there. There's just less you have to do if it's a Penguin penalty than if it's a manual penalty. So we can post this URL in the chat later so that you can copy it out of there. Don't worry about having to get this down right now if you're suspecting that you might have been hit, but I wanted you to have it because it is the most complete process. Now, just like you have SEO companies who are out there preying on people and saying, I can promise you the moon, just pay me a bunch, you also now have link cleanup people who are doing the same thing. And doing it correctly is very, very important. If you don't do it correctly, you're not going to get around the penalty, and you're going to be sunk still and poorer for the for the fact that you paid somebody to do it and they didn't do it right. So it's just not a pretty situation to be in at all. Okay, cleanup takes many, many hours. You can hire it out for $2,000 to $3,000, and shopping for the right person, again, is very important. Now, here's the part that I don't like. Even if links are removed successfully, you may not see any recovery until Google refreshes the Penguin algorithm, okay? And maybe not even then. So what I want to tell you here is, let's say that you are ranking really well, and it was because of manipulative link building that you were ranking well. If that is the case, and you remove all those links, great, you're no longer a bad person, according to Google, right? You're now clean. However, you also were ranking artificially before, so you are not going to rise again just because you remove all those links. So the point, the whole moral of the story is market ethically, market well, and hang your hat on that instead of these quick schemes. All right. Okay. So enough of that. That's very depressing. If you have questions on it, talk to me later about it. I can help guide you on getting resolution there. But let's talk about good SEO. Okay, that's really what I want to talk about. Now, what happens with good SEO? This chart is actually our site, our Counseling Wise site. We started focusing on our own SEO in October of 2013 in a more focused, less haphazard way. Okay, and I did a lot of stuff. I mean, this Counseling Wise site didn't go up until late 2012, and then we spent a lot of time just building the business and finally started to focus on SEO late last year. So this chart shows you, it's a pretty busy chart, but what I want to point out is that the brown or orange line that is at the bottom in this chart, that was our traffic, our organic traffic. This is not referrals or direct traffic or any of that, or paid traffic. It's organic search traffic only. And that was our organic search traffic from April of 2013 to October of 2013. Okay, that 6-month period. Okay, so that's what our traffic was. The blue line is the traffic for the 6 months after that, which was when we started doing our own SEO, optimizing our own site. So as you can see, things improved pretty dramatically. And as you can also see, I think you can see my mouse here, it took a little while for things to kick in, right? We got an immediate little baby bump there, right? This is better than this was for sure. But it's not a whole lot higher than when, right before this happened, okay? We were starting to grow a little bit anyway. But what you'll see is that, it kicked up a little bit and then it just kind of stayed at this level. And then around the holidays, of course, searches are down. But then we hit the stride, okay? So this is when we started cashing in on the SEO. It took a while. And then it was much higher this second 3 months into that process. All right, so the next chart, I'm going to point out some specifics here. Now, the SEO work began October 2013. In the 6 months that we've been doing it, the visits were up from 1,174 to 4,353. It's a 271% increase. Okay, that's pretty good, almost 3 times. And what you'll notice if you're doing SEO correctly, and we're going to talk about what that entails, there's going to be other improvements as well. If you're not doing it correctly, you may get a bunch of traffic, but you're going to have a higher bounce rate, you're going to have fewer pages per visit, you're going to have a lower average visitor duration. But if you're doing it correctly with good content and optimizing that content, the people who come are going to stay, okay? So this is what we can see here. Our bounce rate improved by almost 8%. Our pages per visit increased by almost 14%. That means people stayed and looked at more pages once they got to our site. And the average visitor duration went up nearly 66%. Okay, so we had people staying for 2.5 minutes, and now they're staying for over 4 minutes on average. All right, so this is what you want to see. We're tracking conversions now as well, so there's a lot of good things that you're going to see if you're doing SEO correctly, and this is what you want to do. Now, this did not involve spurious backlink building, okay? This was on-site optimization, good content. We'll go into what it all included. But this is what you can expect to have happen. So what is good SEO? Well, it starts at the beginning. So you need to plan each main page around a focus keyword. You need to say, okay, in terms of private practice, obviously it's different from my website, but what are you about? What are you wanting to rank for? Is it couples counseling Santa Fe? Is it anger management Duluth? Is it depression counseling New York City? What is it? What do you want to rank for? And what are your specialties and how many pages are you going to have? And what is the focus keyword for each one of those pages? All right? And keyword research is required, right? Because you want to, if you're going to go for it, if you're going to optimize a page, you might as well go for, if marriage counseling New York City or NYC has 4 times the search volume that couples counseling does, then you're going to want to go for marriage counseling most likely, okay? Perhaps you want another page for couples counseling. I don't know, but you want to do some keyword research to make sure you're going after the right thing. The next thing is that the content on those pages, it's got to be lengthy, 700 to 1,000 words. Google is looking for people to treat these topics in depth. They don't want you to just skim the surface. And all things equal, if you have a page on couples counseling and I have a page on couples counseling and mine is longer and has relevant words in there, I'm not writing about basket weaving, but I'm actually writing about couples counseling, then I'm going to rank higher than you simply because I have more pages. More words, more words. Okay, so you really want to go in depth with the topic. You want to use the keyword on the page naturally. Don't stuff the keyword in there all over the place. Okay, some people are still doing that in the therapy world. And if you have an image, use an alt tag with a keyword if appropriate. We can talk more about that if you want later. It's not a really huge factor, but if you have an image, might as well do it if it works. So you want, again, detailed content relevant to the focus keyword, and you want quite a bit of it. You want to do a good job on that page, okay? Then, well, let's talk about this a little bit more. Why are we talking about these longer, well-written, specific pages? Well, if you look on the left, this little signal, this is what Google hears on most sites, okay? Your page sends out a signal to Google. And if you have one of those sites that are very prevalent in our industry, that consists of a home page that says, my name is so-and-so, I've been in business for 30 years, and I treat people who are depressed, anxious, who are struggling in their relationship, and who have ADHD, yada, 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 call me, I'm great. Then Google's going to hear this really muffled little signal. Something about ADHD and depression, and where are they? I don't know. Is the city here on the site anywhere? And whatever. It's a very small signal. Now, if we did SEO for that site, if we did good SEO and we applied it to that architecture of that single page that talks about everything, we're going to get a little better signal, but it's still not going to do a whole lot for us. Okay? If you have a site, here's where we want to go, right? We want to go over here. If you have a site that is specific, has specific pages, has strong content, and has good SEO, then you can have a huge signal to Google, okay? A huge signal. And this is where you want to play. That's what's going to make you rank highly in your city for what you do. The third thing that you want to do is you want to write these strong meta titles and meta descriptions for each page. So the title is 70 characters or less, and an example of it is Couples Counseling, Bend, Oregon, Dr. Sue Smith. Okay, so the title here has the keyword, it has the city, and it has the person's name. That's just an example of a title that you can have. The description, the meta description, is 155 characters or less. And an example is here: even the strongest couples struggle. Couples Counseling with Dr. Sue Smith can help you reconnect and find intimacy again, located in Bend, Oregon. Okay, so that's an example of a description. If you're a national site, obviously you don't care about having the city in there. If you're a local site, you do. So this is just something that is available in the back end of your site. If you have an HTML site, then you can go in the back end and change your meta titles and description. We use WordPress, and we use the Yoast WordPress plugin. And that is the easiest, most foolproof plugin we've ever seen for SEO, which is one of the reasons we use WordPress, is for that plugin. It really helps a lot. The next thing that you need on your site, and again, we're talking about optimization, right? So it's not a one-time thing. Your site needs ongoing and plentiful content, right, in order to optimize it. So how do you do that? What's the best way to do that? It's blogs. Okay, blogs should be 600 words or more, and you can optimize those too, not just the main pages on your site, but also your blog posts. The reason that blogs are so important is that there is a direct correlation between the size of a site and its ability to rank locally. And I presented on that several months ago, showed you the studies on that. But the easiest way to add pages to your site that are navigable and they're added in some kind of an organized fashion so people can find them is via a blog. So we think that it's kind of a crime for people to create new websites these days that don't have blogs. It's just like crippling you right at the get-go. So that's why we say use blogs. Now, the other thing that you want to do, and the neat thing is, if you're blogging, you have the content to do this, you want to post content on social media. Okay, social signals are a huge ranking factor in Google these days. You can Google this. There's a Search Metrics, a company called Search Metrics, and they put out a ranking criteria study end of 2013, and social signals are huge, huge, huge. Now, for us, again, I'm showing you real data here. For us, Google Plus and LinkedIn have worked best. I will say that we haven't focused a ton of time on Twitter or Facebook, certainly not on Pinterest or anything else. We have focused a little bit on Google Plus and LinkedIn, but we've gotten a lot of visits. And the best part about it, if you look over here on the right, is these visits, these people stay. Okay, anytime you can have someone come into your site and stay for 6 minutes and look at almost 4 pages, that is a really good news story. Now look at that compared to Twitter. Okay, Twitter is a fickle audience. They stay for 37 seconds and they leave. All right, so it doesn't really, I'm not going to chase that traffic. That's not good traffic for me. But if they're going to stay on my site for 6 minutes, that's great. Facebook, it was 3 minutes. That's not bad, really, in the scheme of things. But I'll tell you, if I have a limited amount of time and money and I want to focus on social media, I'm focusing up here on Google Plus and LinkedIn. The other thing you want to do is you want to optimize your Google Places listing as well. Okay, and this is just a picture of a Google Places listing that I grabbed. You can see right away that you know, they have a title here, they have the address, they have their website in there, they have psychologist as their category, and then there's going to be all sorts of things behind the scenes that are taking place with a Google Places listing. What you really want is you want to have an optimized description for your Google Places listing. You want the correct categories for that. You want 5 to 10 optimized photos. You want 5 optimized videos. Again, these videos do not have to be, you know, award-winning videos. We're not shooting pictures of people on camera or anything like that, or video streams of people on camera. It's a video to kind of check a box. So you want to optimize it. You want to show some images either about your practice or of you or whatever, and then optimize those for your keywords. You also want to put something called an H card on your site that matches the name, address, and phone of your Google Places listing. Okay, so this is called NAP data, name, address, phone, and it's a very, very important thing to pay attention to in Google Places listings. And the other thing you want to do is you want to have what are called citations. You want to build citations. These are basically putting your site on various directory listings, such as Yellow Pages or Yelp or places like that. You want to make absolutely sure that the name, address, phone data that you put on these listings correlates exactly with what you have on your website. And you want to create these gradually over a number of months. You don't want to flood these directories with 100 listings in 1 month. We do it at a pace of 10 per month. Okay? The next steps, okay, so we've talked about all of these SEO things. It's a lot, but the next steps are this. If you've been penalized, go ahead and fix your site or switch sites, okay? Either one of those, and it's probably going to be somewhat of a hard decision. It depends on how many links have been built and how bad it is, how toxic your link profile is. So either fix or switch sites. Here's the other thing. If you have a site that has been penalized and you're going to create a new site, do not do a 301 redirect from the old site to the new. Okay, that's basically carrying your trash with you. Don't do that. Just divorce, clean cut, go away. All right, you don't want to link those two sites together. Now, if you don't have a specific keyword-focused site, the pages aren't keyword-focused, create pages like that on your site. That's what you want to do. You want to architect your site so that the main pages are focused on keywords, and you want to optimize those. If you don't have good SEO, fix it. If you don't have a blog, get one. All right. The reason that we have all of this built into our Smart Therapy Websites program is because it's so important foundationally. All right, all of this is built in because it's so important foundationally. We won't build a website that is not going to carry anyone into the future. So if you have these problems, you can get all of those fixed with that program. And if you're interested in checking that program out, go to counselingwise.com/smart. Okay, that program takes care of all these issues. Now, what if you're not sure where you stand? Well, if you don't know if you have an issue or not, one of the things you can do is have us do a marketing analysis for you, okay? And with this marketing analysis, we spend 4 to 5 hours in gathering the data about all of your marketing and studying it, and we create a 25-page report that's completely customized to your site. We do a 25 to 30-minute video where we walk you through our findings. Okay, so none of this is boilerplate stuff. It's all about your site. It's about your directory listings, about your social appearances, social media involvement. It's about your SEO, your messaging, everything. And so this is something that if you're not sure where you stand, you might want to do that. It's a really good investment. It's $247. And most people who do that are like, wow, I finally get it. I know where I stand. I know what I need to do. Thank you. I have a marketing path. Okay. We actually deliver a marketing plan with this. So part of this document is, hey, based on all of these findings in the last 24 pages, here's what our marketing plan is. If it were our site, here's what we would do. Steps number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Okay, so that is something that could really help you. counselingwise.com/marketing-analysis. Okay, that might be a really good option if you're not sure. Now, if you know your site is not solid already, if you already know it lacks specific, well-written, keyword-focused pages, just go ahead and jump into that Smart Therapy Websites program. I want to make clear to mention that it includes SEO. Okay, so it is SEO at the beginning, right? We design the site with SEO in mind from the beginning, and we do the on-page optimization of the site. It's also set up for ongoing content growth. And again, there's that link for that. Now, I also want to tell you that SEO takes time. Okay, just as I showed you in our chart, sure, we have almost 300% improvement in organic traffic over a 6-month period. That's pretty awesome. However, just know, and this was actually validated by a big SEO house, the Moz folks, the end of last month, actually, very current. There's something that they're now calling the SEO slog, okay? And I talked about this a couple weeks ago. The gap of disappointment is the time after which you put all this effort in and your effort isn't paying off yet, okay? Again, it's like the retirement plan. There's this time period where, you've worked really hard, you're still working really hard. That's what this red is. You're working really hard, but gosh, your results are not, your phone's not ringing off the hook. And so this is the reality of SEO. This is why these people who are saying miracles are going to occur for you in 10 days if you hire me, give me $1 million, this is why you shouldn't listen to them, okay? Because the reality is it takes time. And the whole SEO industry knows that. It does take time. So what are you doing during this time? Well, you're in the very beginning, you're getting clarity on your niche, you're planning out your website, then you're creating all this good specific content and you're putting it up and optimizing it. Then you need to be doing ongoing blogging, right? You need to be keeping, adding those pages to your site. You need to optimize a Google Places listing. You need to be getting social media signals. Take these blog posts here and post them out to social media sites. All right? You need to be doing all of this stuff. And it takes time and it takes effort. So if you are not in the position to be able to wait for more phone calls for a 6-month period while all of this work and time is passing, then you may want to consider Adwords. Okay? Adwords is something that you truly can usually get on page 1, day 1. And an Adwords campaign can fill in the gap while all of this other stuff is happening. It can get you traffic, get you that relevant traffic, get you phone calls, and maybe get you, a number of more clients that are coming in the door, paying the bills for all of this other work. And eventually you could say, okay, great, now this other stuff has caught on. I'm here where the work has paid off. I can drop my Adwords campaign now or put it on pause. Okay, you may decide it's worth the investment anyway and keep it going along with your SEO and really ramp up your practice that much faster. But this is an option, okay? So a lot of folks are talking about, should I do AdWords or should I do SEO? It's not an either-or question. It totally depends on what's going on in your practice, how many clients you need to be seeing. And I'll tell you, you should always be doing this stuff, okay, in my opinion. In my opinion, you should always be doing this stuff because this is the foundation that's going to carry you. You can create this and turn it off and on at will. But if you don't have this, you're never going to get to that place where you can rest a little bit more and still get phone calls. Okay, and if you're interested in that, we do AdWords. Peter Hanna has given up his AdWords business and basically is referring all his traffic to us, all of his folks to us. And we are doing AdWords for therapists now. We've been doing that in other arenas prior to now, but we're doing it for therapists now. Okay, so that is the presentation part of this. I did want to tell you that if you have any questions, you're unsure about anything, you need to talk with me about what you should be doing, or if you're interested in any of our offerings and want to talk about that more, you can always go to the counselingwise.com website. On the home page from the bottom right, a little Let's Talk box will pop up, and if you click Set Time to Discuss, you can schedule a half-hour free consult with me. So feel free to do that. More than happy to talk with anybody to see what's going on for them. So, questions? Go ahead. We're going to open that up now, and you can type questions into the question box. I am going to make all the questions public right now, and now I'm going to look through here and see what questions might have been already typed in. Okay, so I'm going from the bottom to the top so that I can get the first ones first. Hi, Carol. You said hi. Claire, Susan, MJ, Miranda, Jason, Stephanie. Good tips on recognizing scammers. Good, Stephanie. Sounds like an experienced comment there. Claire, I agreed to have an SEO group, Gumball, who said they were working with Google. I paid and signed up but canceled within the 3-day cancellation. However, my SEO that had been fairly consistent seems to have tanked since. Could they be affecting my SEO? So what you might be talking about there, Claire, is are they doing what's called negative SEO? Could they be spamming links at my site to hurt me? I think that's where you're going with that. You can correct me if you're wrong. People do that. They actually do that, and I could take a look really quick for you and see if it looks like that's what's happening. So why don't you go ahead and do a Let's Talk thing on my site, and I'm happy to peek at that. Justin, I heard that if I continually Google my website daily, have family do it or friends every day, it would move my ratings up. Is this true? No, this is not true, Justin. One thing is that Google understands where the IP addresses are coming, okay? And it's not just Googling. They would need to actually stay on your site for a long time. Okay, so all of this is indirect. It's really, did someone come to your site and stay and have a good experience and interact with you? Do they come back again at a reasonable amount of revisits? But that's more of the bad news stuff that people talk about. Connie, voice kept cutting out for some reason. I'm not sure why. Justin, how do I track my traffic? What you do, Justin, is you install Google Analytics on your website, and we can help you with that if you need help with that. But that's how you track your traffic. Is that Google Webmaster Tool 2? Maybe that's what, Marlene, you're probably talking about Justin's question. In Google Webmaster Tools, you do get some information about your traffic, but Google Analytics is going to give you more. How can we do good keyword research, asks Pierre. Good question, Pierre. You need to get a Google AdWords account, and you need to go into their keyword planner, and you can go in and type something like whatever your specialty is. Let's say ADHD treatment Santa Fe. Put that in and see what Google says the best keywords are for that. That's a very quick, short answer to your question. It's a little more involved than that. So that is something that, but that's the basic answer to the question. Justin, I'd like to know more about alt tab images. It's really alt tag images, And Justin, what I would recommend you do is Google that, Google the alt tag, and there will be examples of people who will show you how to do that. And what you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to have, let's say you have a picture on your website of someone who looks depressed, then saying depression counseling Santa Fe. You know, I'm just using Santa Fe. Obviously, you're not from Santa Fe. Well, maybe you are. Who knows? But I'm just using that as an example. So it would be okay to say depression counseling Santa Fe if there's a picture of a depressed person. If there's a picture of a chipmunk, probably not, right? So use your good judgment there about whether to use alt tags on your images. Hopefully you don't really have a lot of pictures of chipmunks on your site anyway, but you never know. I've seen some strange things. How can you best research the higher usage of keywords in order to choose which one to use? Megan, that's the answer that I just gave. Go to the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. You can also Google keyword research and probably find some great, maybe even keyword research video. Find some YouTube videos on people doing it. Do optimized blog posts count the same for SEO as traditional website pages? That's a very good question, Jason. One would have to do some studies on that. I believe they do. Okay, to Google, a post is the same as a page for all intents and purposes. And blog posts, not only are they the same as a page in Google's eyes. You know, a page is a page, a post is a page to Google. It's all text to scan, and it's all meta tags to consider. But with blog posts, you can also categorize them, right? You can put them in categories so that people can navigate them more easily. Category pages get created that can tend to be pretty beefed up and heavy and full because they have a lot of great content in a category page. So in my opinion, if done right, that is a really good thing for SEO. Now, the other thing is that Google pings, or WordPress, if you have a WordPress site, it pings your post as well. So those go out into the universe saying, hey, new post. And also, you can have an RSS feed. That's automatically a part of a WordPress site typically. And so if people are subscribing to your RSS feeds, they automatically go out into the RSS world, and they get shared. And that doesn't happen for pages. The pinging doesn't happen for pages either. And comment growth doesn't happen for pages. So in some ways, they're even better for SEO than pages. Pages are closer to the nav. So it's one of those, you know, it's one of those either or questions. It's not a clear answer, but they are very, very powerful for SEO. Let's see. HCard. Google HCard too. There's free HCard generators, Justin. You can put one on your home page is where you want to put it. No problem, Megan. I think I understood your question. Megan, here's the link from earlier. Oh, okay, good. So hopefully everyone sees this. If anyone is worried about penalty recovery, there is a link that Megan put in here for that link, the worldofsearch.io article on how to recover from a manual penalty. Amy, alt tag with keyword with an image. Yes, hopefully I explained that. You can look it up, alt tag. Deb, so each photo on our website should have a title with our keywords. Again, I hope that you guys use good common sense with this. If it's a photo that makes sense to optimize it. If not, don't. But yeah, that's another little factor in SEO ranking. I had someone call me once with I have a #2 spot on Google open. Didn't know what it was then, but thankful I didn't go for it. Yep, me too, Stephanie. Trust your gut on that. Thank you, Claire. Thanks for being involved here. Jason, thanks for all the great information. I just signed up for the marketing analysis with you. Looking forward to it. Great. Great. We love doing those. That's like the place to start, really, for most people. It's a great place to start. Really get a good grounding. Lorraine, is Google Plus blog enough linked to website enough? Oh, okay. So what I'm thinking you're talking about, are you talking about a Blogger blog, Lorraine, which is a Google product, or are you talking about a Google Plus posts? So you really want to have a blog on your site. That's the answer. Blogger blogs are usually separate, right? And Google Plus posts are separate. They will help you. They will definitely help you, but you really want to have a blog on your site. It helps with page growth and authority of your site and navigation while on your site, right? They can stay with you longer, engage with you more fully if that blog is on your site and navigable. Deb, is Stat Counter as good as Google Analytics for tracking? In my opinion, no. There are a number of paid and free traffic tracking, visitor tracking tools out there. Google Analytics is the best free one, and all the data comes from Google anyway, and they have the most reporting, the most stuff that you can find out about what's happening on your site. Melanie, your information is so helpful. Really glad I'm in your Smart Therapy Websites program. You are so specific for therapists and much more reasonably priced than the others I've already wasted money with. Thank you, Melanie. Yay, Melanie. Appreciate that. Try to be helpful. Lorraine, is Google Plus blog attached to website too? Okay, we just talked about that. Kat, is it okay to have the same keyword on 2 pages on your site? After many blog posts, it's hard to vary. Yeah, good question, Kat. It is hard, and really what you want to do, I mean, you know, really the diehard SEOs will tell you you want each page on your site focused around a specific keyword. So you want to get pretty granular. You really don't want to have all your blogs competing with your pages. So if you have marketing messages that are written for couples counseling Littleton or couples counseling Denver or something like that, you want those pages to rank for that, and you don't want blogs to compete. You may want to have a blog that is ranked for financial infidelity, for instance. Okay, I'm just choosing the couples path, or how to resolve parenting disagreements, and that would be optimized for parenting disagreements, that type of thing. Okay, so you really want to get specific, and you really actually want unique SEO on each page on your site, blogs included. Jason, the Yoast plugin for WordPress is awesome. Yes, it is. The guy rocks. I've listened to him. He's kind of full of himself, but I guess he can be. He developed an awesome product. Amy, I live in a rural area. Should I put Olympic Peninsula or Jefferson County versus Port Townsend, very small town? Very good question. So, Amy, here's the answer to that. You're wanting to attract traffic from elsewhere, okay? However, your physical address is Port Townsend, is what I'm thinking, right? And so, Port Townsend is part of your name, address, phone number. That should be on every page of your site. We put it in the footer. That is a clear signal to Google where you are located, and it should be in the H card on your site as well. However, you are wanting to reach Olympic Peninsula or Jefferson County, and there's a number of things that you can do to do that. You could actually have that mentioned on your pages. You could have testimonials from therapists who will say, you know, Amy Gordon is, you know, I've referred people to her and she does great work. I trust referring clients to her. Dr. So-and-so, Olympic Peninsula. That helps, believe it or not. Okay, testimonials will help. Mentioning your location on your contact page. We are located in Port Townsend, in the Olympic Peninsula area, or in Jefferson County, and service clients throughout Jefferson County, or whatever. So mention those things on your site, and you're going to do better at ranking for all of those locations. Evelyn, I'm not getting access to the webinar. I just see a chat box. I can't hear you speak. Well, yeah, you must have some problem with being able to watch YouTube videos, Evelyn. So I think you got a sound card problem on your computer or something like that. Joel, me too. I'm not sure what the me too is. You'll get the replay, Evelyn, and you can watch it from a computer that works with video. I'm not sure what's happening there. Obviously, it's working for most people. Deb, let's see. Wow, you guys, your questions are coming in faster. I can keep up. Past 6 months Google searches are now private, so I can only see keywords in about 5. Yeah, very good point. So, Deb, longer than 6 months, unfortunately. So Google is reporting not provided as the answer for keywords now. Who knows why they're doing that? They're going to only show you a few of the keywords that come through, not the main ones. that is correct. You're not hallucinating. That is happening in Google Analytics. You're going to see that. You're going to see that on every tool. Google Analytics either parses out the data to everybody the same or whatever. So no tool is going to show you all that data. That's a big problem. People are really mad at Google for hiding all that data. They are making money by getting you to buy AdWords accounts, basically, so you can really see who's coming to your site. Now, you can kind of reverse engineer that. If you have a page that is ranked, that you've done SEO on and is optimized for some kind of couples counseling term, most likely, if that's getting a lot of traffic, you know that the terms have to do with couples counseling, okay, that are coming there. So you can get a good sense of it, but you can't get the details anymore. You're right. Amy, I've heard the first step is to submit site to Google and Yahoo Local. Do you recommend this? Not the first step. I would do a lot of work to get your site foundationally very sound with really good content and good SEO, and then I would submit to, I would do a Google Local for sure. Yahoo, Yahoo's really no longer. It's Bing. It's swallowed up in Bing, and it comprises a very small percentage of search. I wouldn't even waste your time on it. Okay. Connie, from your various presentations, I improved my content on my pages and have increased calls. Thank you. Awesome, Connie. Love to hear that. You just made my day. That's what I like to hear. Jason, Becky, I'm guessing you can help me re-optimize my site's pages. I'm rebuilding my site, and a lot of my keywords are good for older algorithms. Stuffed keywords. My tags are not specific. I'd like to talk more about this in our consultation tomorrow. Okay, great. I'm assuming you made an appointment, Jason. Great. I haven't even seen that yet. Haven't been on the computer yet. I know that we are getting really close. Can you recommend a good Yoast SEO plugin tutorial? It's so extensive that I feel like I don't take advantage of all the features. Right. Kat, you probably don't take advantage of all the features, and actually you probably don't have to worry about it. You know, just like anything, there's all sorts of bells and whistles, but 90% of what you need is the obvious stuff with title tags and description tags and good content on your site. I actually don't know if I know of a really good one. Let me take that as a to-do. I could ask Jane on our team, who is in love with Yoast, I think, to to find one, and maybe she can put something out on our site or send it out to the list for a good tutorial there. That's a good question. Yoast SEO, Evelyn, is a plugin within WordPress. It's a great plugin for SEO. Claire, what percentage of a practice is fair to expect to result from all this work? Wow, that's an interesting question. Well, I guess it depends on how many referrals you get, right? If you get a whole ton of referrals, if you've been active and well-known within a community, you may not need to do any of this. I know people like that. My partner is one of them, believe it or not. But if you actually do not have that situation where you're getting tons of referrals and you want to get traffic online, then this could be 100% of your practice. Okay, so that's what I would say to that. Okay, so we are at, wow, you guys had a lot of questions. We're at 2 minutes till, and so I'm gonna let you get a last-minute chance here to type something into the chat, a question that you have. If I missed one of your questions, since there were so many, feel free to type it in again so that I can see it. I'm happy to stay here until 11 o'clock Mountain and answer questions. 2 more minutes, so go ahead and type it in if you have it, and if you don't, then I'm going to go ahead and say see y'all later. Let's see, Carol, thanks, appreciate the webinars. Great, appreciate you coming, Carol. Jason, you could expect a high volume if you rank well. Yep, you could. As I said, you could expect all of your new clients to come from online if you do this right. Okay, and all of online, you know, social, organic, etc. Claire, thanks to you, Claire. Thanks for coming. 1 minute left. Any last minute questions? Going. gone. We're going to call it a wrap. Thanks everybody for coming. Becky DeGrossa, counselingwise.com. We'll see you all next month, and we'll announce those webinars shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.